Hi there, my name is Alvaro Alas, and we are here with my partner to discuss a little bit about morphology. Morphology is a Greek word that we can is composed by two syllables, and it's a morpho for a shape, and ology is the study. So it means that it's the study of the form of the words, and the words, of course, that form the language. And there are different theories about the origin of the languages, but we are going now to study two of those currents to analyze the different languages that we have today. For my part, I will be exposing the Muller's theory and how linguistically new words get in use. So go ahead, Jose Maria, and welcome to this meeting today.
Hello, everybody. As Alvaro says, my name is Jose Maria Argueta, and I will be also sharing with you. And I will be talking about Noam Chomsky, the theory of a language, which is very interesting for us and I think everybody in the world, because it's something that brings us an idea of how the language is formed and how the morphology is maybe useful for forming words. And I think it is important to talk about the different theories because in that way we can discuss how the words are formed. And I know this is not the space to explain everything because we are doing a brief presentation. So let's begin with Alvaro.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about Friedrich Max Müller. He was born in Germany, and he was 23 years old when he moved to England, and he lived there for about 50, 54 years. Uh, it's not surprising that he was a highly educated man. He has a lot of degrees. But what is awesome or remarkable for me is he was a highly religious man. But he ended following with Charles Darwin evolutionary theory, and he sustained that development of new words is made by socialization, is kind of an evolution inside the languages. So it means that languages are formed according to the needs of the people to communicate. Let's use an example, perhaps with the black community. They they modify the way they talk to each other, but so strongly that after that everybody ends knowing all the way they communicate, and finally it becomes a new language, a new way of communication. Let's say some examples like joy for joyful or care for carefully. Others like slave or she money. Instead of say she is a very important person, so they just use that expression she money. Okay, but there is a new forms and constantly languages we can say updating according to the needs of the communication. Technology also makes a lot of changes in the way we talk to each other. So what do you think about that, Jose?
Okay. I think that is a very interesting theory, and I think it's realistic because people are evolving with the language, and we are learning when we are with people together. And I think if you are like alone, you are not able to get the learning of the grammar or some of the rules. But once you go and get in touch with more people, probably you get the ability to learn. And as we know, the rules are written sometimes, and sometimes we catch it when we are listening to anyone in the community, in the school. And I think this theory is like something that we can take into account. And the bad thing sometimes is when some people believe there is only one theory, and they say, okay, they are saying the word chimony or the word joyful or careful, and they don't know the origin of those words. And that is the theory of Fred Max Muller. I think it is very important for us to get that idea of this professional person who gave us an idea of the evolution of language. And I want to talk a little bit about Noam Chomsky, and I think Muller is a very good theory he got. So according to different studies, not just the Berman 2012, Chomsky was an influential linguist, so a person who talks a lot about linguistics. So in the 20th centuries, he was a very famous person. So he wrote a book about the syntactic structures, and according to him, humans have the ability to create words by the use of unconscious knowledge of language. So that one is related to the evolution. So the brain of the people is biologically created to use, I mean, to, to create a new language. That's why we have many languages. And the language is with us. So we are able to recognize a sentence. And sometimes we believe, okay, that sentence is correct, that sentence is not correct. And that is because, according to Chomsky, we are born with that. So we are able to catch everything about related of language. And I have some examples. Sometimes we use compound words, which are the formation of two or more words. And for example, the hyphen, I mean the like the dash is used to avoid doubling a word or a vowel or tripling a consonant. I mean, so for example, if I say semi-intelligent, you can listen that word very well. But if I say semi-intelligent, like the example you gave about I wanna go or I want to go. So, but in this case, if I leave it without the hyphen, I will say just intelligent, something like that, and you will not understand that, and you will say exactly, oh, you are not right with that word. Or if I say boundless, so that means you can separate the words with that. And also there are some examples that are solid compounds, but not all the words are very solid. For example, if I say book, I don't need to like divide the word like book. It doesn't give you any meaning. So like the boot or the horse. So I think our brain is maybe with the ability. What we need is to learn or to practice. So the theory is there, the grammar is there, and according to Chomsky theory, we are able to learn. So there is no way to say, okay, I cannot speak English. Maybe you don't speak English when you are born, but once you start listening to people or learning grammar, you are speaking English in the future. So what do you think, Albert?
Absolutely. I agree with you, and that's Chomsky theory. But every time we are trying to do the things faster and in a practical way. That's why the words are being shortened. Like the samples I mentioned before, joy instead of using the full word that is joyful or careful, because well, long time ago, people used to say, "Be careful." Now you say, "Take care," and it's
Right.
the same meaning practically. I mean, it's everything. Every time the things go, you are getting like we have less time than before. I don't know, but it's a phenomenon that is very difficult to explain. But it seems like the time is shorter now than before. And
Right.
of course, the words are going to be the same way. But anyways, to start landing and getting the conclusion, we can say that there are a lot of theories. There are a lot of rules. There are a lot of like suffix, prefix, phonemes, and phonology. There are a lot of studies about languages, but at the end, we don't know how exactly the language was formed, the origin, the origin of the language. We don't really know it, so that becomes like a hypothesis.
Yeah, I think the two theories we have talked about are very important. Sometimes when we start the school or when we are in like English class, we feel that probably the language is difficult, and sometimes we are just learning the basics of the language. I think for the Spanish language, sometimes we have similar rules for the English, so both languages are very related. And that is the important. The morphology is not just about English. Sometimes people feel that morphology is about English, but not. Morphology is about to study how
Exactly.
the word is formed. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, awesome. So really nice, and hope to see you soon in another debate.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
I hope to see you again.